Well, let's talk more about how a change to the funding system would impact on schools. The principal of the Decile 1 Manurewa East School, Phil Palfrey, and Roger Moses, who heads the Decile 10 School, Wellington College, are both on the line now. Phil and Roger, welcome. It's lovely to talk to you both. Phil, can I start with you? Manurewa East Decile 1, what's your view on the possibility of these changes being implemented?
I think like Ian said, we have all of those factors from our parents that contribute to the school. But I think we have to be very careful that it's not just, as one of the other speakers said, it's not just about the money. It's about any changes need to help our children gain the equity that they need to have fulfillment in their lives, is to have the services as well. We don't have access to psychologists, counsellors, all those people that would actually make a difference. So it's not just money. That means that our kids find it really difficult to stay off some of those statistics that the Minister just stated.
Yeah. Roger Moses, it's so inexact, isn't it? What's the role of Wellington College at the moment?
We're about 1650, John.
Right, 1650. And that's a Decile 10 school.
Decile 10 school, yep.
But is every child in it from a Decile 10 home?
No, absolutely not. And I think this is one of the issues that the Minister is quite correctly addressing. I think that we talk about the discrepancy between schools, which may well be valid, but I think that also within schools there are major inequities. And I think that while this is not a perfect solution, I think it is time to start a conversation as to whether the current system is the best way of actually targeting those students for whom the decile system was really introduced.
Are there children at Wellington College, are there boys, students at Wellington College, who come from homes that aren't well off at all?
Absolutely. I know this because I'm regularly trying to provide extra funds for things such as football boots, for trips and so on. And so, we have a significant number of students who come to us who are from refugee backgrounds. A number are the sons perhaps of old boys who are living outside of our zone and come in from other areas. And so there is a significant minority. And I've seen that increase. I've been in the school for over 20 years, John, and I've seen the proportion of those students increase markedly over the last 5 years. And so I think that while it's easy to be critical of any initiative introduced by a minister, I think it is timely that the system is reviewed and that we look more closely at the individual students who are in need of extra help.
Phil Palfrey, it's broad brushstrokes we're talking about here, isn't it? And whilst Roger Moses says a significant minority of children at Wellington, students at Wellington College, are from homes where there is a struggle, I would say it would be much higher than a significant minority in your school, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I'm intrigued with his comments. A significant minority. We would have a significant majority of children who don't have the boots and don't have it. So there's a massive difference.
How do you get it right? How does the ministry get this right?
Can I just say that people who don't work within the system don't really understand how this different socioeconomics of schools work. I've worked in a Decile 1 and a Decile 3 and in rural schools which are higher decile. And really and truly, there is a massive difference. And to me, even a Decile 3 school has enough students in it that can support the other students, and it has enough parents that will come down and help and do things like that. Whereas a Decile 1, you have most parents some won't be working, although no, up here most in Auckland most are, but they will have low-paid jobs, probably 2 or 3 jobs doing shift work and things like that, and none of them would be in, or very few would be in management jobs. So even at the board level, we don't have people who have that level of knowledge.
So Phil, what can the ministry do? What can the ministry do to more accurately address the needs of more children?
Well, it's like kind of like one of the other speakers said. It's actually providing not just the money; it's the services. We have an absolute dearth of highly qualified psychologists. So a lot of work needs to go around those sort of services. It's really about having people like counsellors, people who can talk to our kids who are traumatised and cause a lot of trouble in the school on a daily basis. And I just don't think that happens in higher decile schools, so they're not aware of what we have to put up with.
Roger Moses, what do you think? To end with you, to give you the last word, because you are a decile 10 school, what do you think would be the fairest system for the most children?
Well, I think with respect, the suggestions of the Minister, if they are true, are not suggested as a cure-all panacea. They're starting with the basis of the system that we have. And if indeed the vast majority of students at a Decile 1 school are those who are in specific need, then by all means target the resources that way. I think that is what this particular initiative is probably trying to address. I'm certainly not opposed to schools in tougher socioeconomic areas. I've taught in such areas. I'm not opposed to them receiving extra funding. But I think if the money is more accurately targeted, then that is a start. We can talk of psychologists and all the rest of it, but of course there are need for those in all kinds of schools. That's a more general issue. But if we're talking specifically about this money that has been targeted, I think all the Minister is saying is that it's time to have a conversation about where this money is best directed, and is the current system, which effectively has become a means of very often evaluating schools. So I think that very often people make value judgments based on the decile level, and I think that's inaccurate. I think if this is a way of better addressing the needs of those particular students who are most at risk, then good luck to her.